I couldn't reach my daughter for 5 days. When I went to her house, I HEARD scratching under the BD chapter 1. The phone rang 5 times and went to voicemail. I hung up and tried again. Voicemail. I pressed redial. Voicemail. This was the 10th call in 2 days. My name is Marga Ret. I am 68 years old. I live alone in a 2-bedroom house in Columbus, Ohio. My daughter, Emily, lives 30 minutes away in a small rental near the university. She is 34. She is a graphic designer. She works from home. We talk every day. We have talked every day for the last 34 years. Even if it is just a text message. A picture of her lunch. A link to a funny video. Something. Anything. But for 5 days, nothing. I sat at my kitchen table and read at my phone. The screen was black. I touched it to wake it up. No messages. No missed calls. I scrolled through our last texts. She sent me a picture of her garden. New tulips. Red and yellow. She said, "Look what bloomed, Mom." I replied with a thumbs up emoji. That was it. That was the last thing she said to me. The first day I was not worried. People get busy. Deadlines pile up. Phones die. She would call back. The second day I sent a text. You okay? It showed as delivered. But not read. The third day I called. Voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. I left a message. Emily, it's Mom. Call me. Please. The fourth day, I called her landline. No answer. No answering machine. Just a dead tone. I called her neighbor. A woman named C.A. Roll. C.A. Roll answered. She said she hadn't seen Emily in days. She thought she had gone out of town. I asked if she had seen her CAR. C.A. Roll said, her CAR is still in the driveway, Marga Ret. That was when my stomach sta route to turn. The fifth day, I drove to her house. The sky was gray. The air was cold. Spring had not arrived yet. I pulled into her driveway. Her blue Honda was there. A thin layer of dust on the windshield. The newspaper was piled up by the front door. 3 days of newspapers. The mail was spilling out of the mailbox. I got out of my CAR. My knees hurt. I walked to the front door. I pressed the doorbell. No sound. I pushed it again. Nothing. I knocked hard. The wood was solid. My knuckles hurt. No answer. I called her phone again. I heard it ring inside the house. It was faint. Muffled. But it was there. It rang until voicemail. I tried the doorknob. It was locked. I walked around to the back. The backyard was small. A wooden fence. A birdbath. Her tulips were blooming. Red and yellow. I walked to the back door. It was a glass sliding door. I looked inside. The living room was a mess. The couch cushions were on the floor. A lamp was tipped over. A mug was broken on the coffee table. The coffee was dried into a brown stain on the wood. My sta route to pound. I pressed my face against the glass. I saw the kitchen. The kitchen door was hanging open. I saw a chair on its side. I saw a trail of something dark on the floor. It could have been mud. It could have been something else. I could not tell from outside. I tried the back door. It was locked. I looked around the yard for a key. I knew she had one in a fake rock near the hose. I picked it up. It was empty. She had moved it. I did not know where she moved it. I ran back to the front. I called the police. I told them my daughter was not answering. I told them about the mess. I told them about the CAR. They said they would send someone. They said it could take an hour. They were busy. I could not wait an hour. I found a loose brick near her flower bed. I took a breath. I smashed the window next to the front door. The glass shattered. The alarm did not go off. She never turned it on. She hated the noise. I reached inside and unlocked the door. I pushed it open. The air inside was stale. It smelled like something bad. It smelled like old food. And something else. Something metallic. I stepped inside. The hallway was dark. I flicked the light switch. Nothing. The power was off. I pulled out my phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness. I walked into the living room. The mess was worse up close. The cushions were shredded. The coffee table was pushed over. The lamp was broken. I saw the arcade trail on the floor. It led from the kitchen to the hallway, to the bedroom. My legs were shaking. I followed it. The trail was sticky. It stained the carpet. It led to the bedroom door. The door was closed. The trail stopped at the door. It did not go through. It stopped. I put my ear to the door. I heard something. A scratching sound. It was soft, rhythmic, like nails on wood. It was coming from inside. I called out, "Emily, Emily, are you in there?" The scratching stopped. Silence. Dead silence. I reached for the doorknob. It was cold. It turned. The door swung open. The bedroom was dark. My flashlight scanned the room. The bed was unmade. The sheets were twisted. Clothes were everywhere. The closet door was open. Empty hangers. The window was closed. The curtains were drawn. I saw the trail again. It led to the bed. It ended under the bed. And then I heard it again. Scratching. Coming from under the bed. It sta root again. Scritch. 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 Slow. Deliberate. I lowered my flashlight. The beam went under the bed. I saw a hand. It was small. Pale. It was reaching out. Fingers scraping at the floorboards. The nails were cracked and bloody. The skin was scraped raw. The hand was attached to an arm. It was dressed in a blue sleeve. I recognized that sleeve. I bought that sweater for Emily last Christmas. The hand was hers. I fell to my knees. "Emily." I gasped. The hand stopped moving. A voice came from under the bed. It was faint. It was broken. It was her voice. "Mom, she was alive. She was alive and she was under the bed." I grabbed her hand. It was cold. It was limp. I pulled. She did not move. She was stuck. "Emily, I'm here. I'm here. Come out. Come out, honey." She sta root to cry. Soft sobs. "I can't. I can't, Mom." I pulled her rider. She screamed. Not a scream of fear. A scream of pain. "Stop. It hurts. It hurts, Mom." I let go. I put my head on the floor. I looked under the bed. The beam of my flashlight cut through the darkness. I saw her face. Her eyes were wide. Her skin was pale. Her hair was matted. She was pressed against the FAR wall. She was curled up in a ball. Her hands were bleeding. Her feet were bare. Her ankles were chained to the bed frame. My breath left my body. "Who did this to you?" She shook her head. She was trembling. "I don't know, Mom. I don't know. I woke up and I was here. The power was off. I could not reach my phone. I could not see. I've been here for days. I've been calling for help. No one came." The scratches on the floor. You heard the scratches. I was trying to scratch through. I was trying to get out. I saw the floorboards next to her. They were torn up. Splinters of wood were scattered everywhere. Her fingers were bloody. She had been trying to dig through the floor. She had been trapped under her own bed for 5 days. I looked at the chain. It was thick. Heavy. A padlock held it shut. The chain was wrapped around the metal frame of the bed. The frame was bolted to the floor. I could not break it. I could not unlock it. I had no tools. I had nothing. Mom, I'm SCA red. I'm so SCA red. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. I had to get her out. I had to get her free. I ran out of the room. I ran to the kitchen. I threw open drawers. Knives. Spatulas. Nothing. A hammer. I grabbed it. I ran back. I crawled under the bed. I did not see about the dust. I did not see about the darkness. I used the claw of the hammer to try and pry the lock. The metal was too strong. The hammer slipped. It hit my hand. I cut my palm. I did not see It's okay, honey. I'm going to get you out. I promise. I promise. I tried to break the bed frame. The metal was solid. It would not give. I tried to smash the floorboards. They were too thick. I looked at the chain again. It was wrapped around the frame 4 times. I could not undo it. I could not break it. I crawled out from under the bed. I looked at the door. I looked at the window. The window was locked from the inside. The door was the only way out. But the door did not matter. She could not move. She was chained. I thought about the police. I thought about the hour wait. I did not have an hour. She did not have an hour. She was shaking. She was cold. She was dehydrated. She was losing her mind. Who did this? Emily, think. Think. Did you see anyone? Did you let anyone in? She sta route to cry ha writer. No. I don't remember. I was working. I was in the living room. I had a headache. I took a nap on the couch. I woke up under the bed. I don't remember anything else. Mom, I don't remember. I looked at her hands. They were raw. The scratches on the floor were deep. She had been trying to dig through the wood for 5 days. She had been fighting for her life. Alone. In the dark. 5 days. I sat on the floor. I held her hand. The hand that was not chained. I tried to think. I tried to call the police again. My phone was dead. I had used it too much. No battery. Is there a key? Emily, a spa rekey? Did someone have a key? She shook her head. No. Just me. Just mine. I looked at the lock again. It was a combination lock. 4 digits. The numbers were worn. I looked at the floor. A piece of paper. I picked it up. It was a receipt. From a HRDWA restore. Dated yesterday. Someone had been here. Yesterday. They had bought the lock yesterday. They had chained her to the bed yesterday. She had been under the bed for 5 days. But she had only been chained for 1. The first 4 days, she could move. She could crawl. She could try to escape. But she could not get out of the room. The door was locked. The windows were locked. She was trapped. Then yesterday someone came back. They chained her to the bed. They left her there. They left her to die. I looked at her hands. The scratching. The digging. She had been trying to dig through the floor because she could not reach the door. The door was too far. The chain kept her under the bed. Who knew you were here? Emily, who knew you were alone? She shook her head again. I don't know. I don't know. Mom, please. Please get me out. I looked at the paper in my hand. The receipt. It had a time. 3:47 p.m. Yesterday. It had an address. The HRDWA restore on 5th Street. I knew the store. I had been there before. I could get there. I could get help. But I could not leave her alone. I made a decision. I would go. I would run to the store. I would get a bolt cutter. I would be back in 30 minutes. I looked at her. Her eyes were wide. Her lips were cracked. She was terrified. I'm going to get help, honey. I'm going to be right back. You stay here. You stay under the bed. Don't move. I'll be back. No, Mom. Don't leave me. Please. Don't leave me alone. Her voice was a scream. It broke my heart. But I had no choice. I had to get the bolt cutter. I ran out of the room. I ran through the living room. I ran out the front door. The glass from the window crunched under my feet. I did not see a re. I ran to the street. I ran Tawa RD the HRDWA restore. My lungs burned. My legs ached. The wind was cold in my face. I ran with everything I had. Every step was a prayer. Every step was a plea. The street was empty. The houses were quiet. The sun was going down. Shadows stretched across the pavement. I saw a man walking his dog. He looked at me. He saw the blood on my hands. He did not stop. He did not ask. He walked away. I kept running. I could feel the blood pumping in my ears. I could feel the ache in my chest. My knees were screaming. My back was burning. I did not slow down. I reached the HRDWA restore. The lights were still on. The parking lot was half full. I pushed open the door. The bell chimed. A young man at the register looked up. He was wearing a red apron. His name tag said David. His face was young. His eyes were kind. Can I help you, ma'am? Bolt cutters. I need bolt cutters. Now. I was gasping. I was leaning on the counter. My hands were shaking. David looked at me. He looked at my hands. He saw the blood. He did not ask questions. He walked to the tool aisle. He reached up to a shelf. He pulled down a large pair of bolt cutters. Heavy. Black. The jaws were thick. He brought them to the counter. $27 and 50 cents. I pulled out my wallet. My hands were shaking. I dropped my credit CA road. It fell to the floor. I bent down to pick it up. My knees almost gave out. I grabbed the CA road. I swiped it. The machine was slow. It beeped. It processed. I grabbed the bolt cutters. I ran out of the store. The air hit my face. Cold. Shaw RP. I held the bolt cutters against my chest. They were heavy. They were Aquay Road. ISTA route running back. I had no time to think. No time to breathe. I just ran. I cut through a road. I jumped over a low fence. I landed on the other side. My ankle twisted. I stumbled. I almost fell. I caught myself. I kept going. I ran through a parking lot. A car honked at me. I did not stop. I ran across the street. A truck swerved to avoid me. The driver yelled. I did not hear him. All I heard was the sound of my own heart. All I heard was the sound of her voice. Don't leave me, Mom. I reached her street. I reached her house. The front door was still open. The broken glass was still scattered on the porch. I ran inside. The house was dark. The power was still off. The air was still stale. I ran to the bedroom. Emily. I'm back. I'm back. The bedroom door was open. I aimed my flashlight at the floor. She was still there. Her hand was reaching out. Her fingers were bloody. She was crying. A quiet, whimpering cry. Mom. You came back. You came back. I crawled under the bed. I positioned the bolt cutter around the chain. The metal was thick. The tool was heavy. I squeezed the handles with all my strength. My muscles burned. My arms shook. The metal sta root to dent. I squeezed harder. The chain was stronger than I thought. I squeezed again. And again. The metal groaned. And then it snapped. The chain broke in two. Emily gasped. She pulled her foot free. I crawled out from under the bed. She crawled after me. She was weak. Her legs gave out. She fell onto the floor. I caught her. I held her. She was shaking. Her body was cold. Her skin was pale. Her eyes were hollow. She was a ghost. A living ghost. But she was alive. Mom. My phone is in the kitchen. Call 911. Call them now. I helped her sit up against the wall. Her body was limp. She could not hold her own weight. I ran to the kitchen. I saw her phone on the counter. It was dead. The power was out. I could not charge it. I ran back to the living room. The landline was dead too. The cord was cut. The wires were hanging loose. They were cleanly snipped. Someone had done it on purpose. I ran to the neighbor's house. CA Roll answered the door. She was wearing a robe. Her hair was in curlers. She looked confused. Marga Ret, what happened? You look awful. Call 911. Emily is hurt. There's an intruder. We need an ambulance. CA Roll's face went white. She grabbed her phone. Her hands were shaking. She dialed. Her voice was urgent. Yes, please. There's an emergency. Send help. 143 Oak Street. Hurry. I did not wait. I ran back inside. Emily was trying to stand. She could not. She fell back down. She was crying. She was staring at the bedroom door. Her eyes were wide. Her breathing was shallow. Mom, he's been in the house. He's been in the house all along. I can feel it. I can hear him. My blood ran cold. What do you mean, honey? He's gone. We're alone. No, Mom. He lives here. He lives in the walls. I heard him at night. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I thought I was hallucinating. But I'm not. He's in the walls. I listened. The house was silent. I heard the ticking of a clock. I heard the wind outside. I heard the sirens in the distance. And then I heard it. A soft scrape. From the kitchen. A footstep. A floorboard RD creaking. I turned around. The kitchen door was swinging. It had not been swinging before. I walked toward it. My legs were heavy. My heart was pounding. Hello, is someone there? No answer. I saw the shadow. It was long. It was moving. It was moving across the kitchen floor. I froze. My heart stopped. Emily screamed from the bedroom. Mom, get away. Get away from there. I backed up. The sirens were getting closer. The shadow moved. It retreated. I heard a door slam. The back door. I ran to the window. I saw a figure running through the backyard road. It was a man. Tall. Wearing a dark coat. He climbed over the fence and disappeared into the trees. The police arrived. They came with lights and sirens. They met the house. They found Emily. They ride her out on a stretcher. They covered her in blankets. They put an oxygen mask on her face. I rode with her in the ambulance. I held her hand. She was still shaking. She was still crying. But she was safe. She was alive. Mom. The man. I saw him. In my room. Before the power went out. I saw him standing in my doorway. I thought I was dreaming. I thought I was hallucinating. But it was real. He was real. I looked at her. Her eyes were glassy. Her lips were cracked. Who is he? Emily, did you recognize him? She nodded. Tears streamed down her cheeks. He's the mailman, Mom. The mailman. I smiled at him. I gave him a Christmas road. I tipped him. And he's been watching me ever since. The ambulance raced through the streets. The siren was loud. The lights were flashing. Emily was lying on the gurney. Her eyes were closed. Her breathing was shallow. The paramedic was checking her vitals. He was young. He was calm. He told me she was stable. She was going to be okay. We got to the hospital. The doctors took Emily into the emergency room. I waited in the lobby. The chairs were hot-road. The lights were bright. The clock on the wall moved slowly. I saw my reflection in the window. I looked old. I looked tired. My hands were stained with blood. Her blood. The blood from her fingers. The blood from her scraping. 5 days. 5 days she was trapped. 5 days she was alone. I replayed it in my head. The phone calls. The doorbell. The scratching. The hand reaching out from under the bed. The coffee machine was in the corner. I walked to it. My legs were shaking. I poured a cup. The coffee was bitter. I did not taste it. I just drank it. I needed something to do with my hands. I needed to stop shaking. A nurse came out. She was middle-aged. She had kind eyes. The mother of Emily Collins, yes. I'm her mother. How is she? Is she okay? She's stable. She's severely dehydrated. She has a minor infection in her scratches. She's going to be okay. But it's going to take time. Physically and emotionally. This was a traumatic event. She'll need therapy. She'll need support. I'll be here. I'll be with her every step of the way. The nurse nodded. She touched my arm. You can see her now. Room 212. Just down the hall. I walked down the hallway. The floor was shiny. The walls were white. The doors were all closed. I found room 212. I pushed open the door. Emily was lying in the bed. Her hands were bandaged. Her fingers were raw. She had IVs in her arms. She was attached to monitors. Beeping. Steady. She was sleeping. She looked so small in the hospital bed. I sat next to her. I held her hand. The bandaged hand. The doctor came in. He was young. Gentle. He had a calm voice. She's going to be fine. We're giving her fluids. We're giving her antibiotics. The infection is minor. We caught it early. She'll need a few days of rest. But she'll be okay. What about her hands? The scratches. The digging. They're deep. But they'll heal. She might have some SCA ring. But she'll have full use of her hands. She was lucky. She was very lucky. I nodded. I looked at her hands. The bandages were white. Clean. But underneath, I knew what was there. Raw skin. Broken nails. Blood. She had scratched through wood. She had tried to dig through the floor. She had fought so hard to live. The doctor left. I sat in the chair. The chair was plastic. It was uncomfortable. I did not move. I watched her sleep. Her chest rose and fell. Her face was pale. Her lips were cracked. I reached out and brushed her hair from her face. She stirred. She opened her eyes. Mom, I'm here, honey. I'm right here. She sta root to cry. Soft TRS. She tried to sit up. I helped her. I adjusted the pillows behind her back. She looked at her hands. She looked at the bandages. She looked at the 4. Did it really happen? Was it real? It was real, honey. But you're safe now. You're in the hospital. The police are looking for him. They're going to find him. She shook her head. He's not going to stop, Mom. He's not going to stop until he finds me again. He's obsessed. He's sick. I saw it in his eyes. When he was standing in my doorway, he was looking at me like I was a piece of meat. Like I was his property. He's not going to get any ARU again. I won't let him. I promise you that. She looked at me. Her eyes were red. Her face was swollen. How did you find me, Mom? How did you know something was wrong? You didn't answer your phone. 5 days. 5 days of silence. I knew something was wrong. I felt it in my gut. I drove to your house. I broke the window. I went inside. I heard the scratching. And I found you. You broke the window, Mom. That's illegal. I don't see about the law. I see about you. I would break 1,000 windows to get to you. She cried harder. She hugged me. Her body was weak. Her arms were thin. She held me tight. She did not let go. I love you, Mom. I love you so much. I love you too, Emily. I love you more than anything. The police came to talk to me. A woman named Detective Miller. She was tall, blonde, serious. She asked me questions. What did he look like? A tall man. DARK coat. I saw him from the back. I did not see his face. Did Emily say anything? She said he was the mailman. Detective Miller took notes. Her pen scratched against the paper. He was the mailman on her route, I said. She gave him a Christmas CA road. She tipped him. He sta route watching her. He sta route stalking her. She saw him in her doorway before the power went out. Detective Miller nodded. She made a phone call. She asked for a name. The mailman on that route. His name was Martin Kerr. He had worked for the Postal Service for 2 years. He had a clean record. No complaints. No arrests. He was a ghost. We're going to his house now, Detective Miller said. We're going to bring him in for questioning. We'll find him. I watched her leave. I sat back down in the plastic chair. I did not trust her. I did not trust anyone. All I trusted was my own eyes. And I had seen him. A tall man in a dark coat. Running through the Bacchier road, climbing over the fence. Disape ring into the trees. Emily was still awake. She was sta ring at the ceiling. Her eyes were open. She was not blinking. Emily, are you okay? What are you thinking about? She turned to me. Her voice was quiet. I keep thinking about the scratching. The sound. It was so loud. I could hear it all night. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I thought it was a rat. I thought it was the pipes. But it was him. He was in the walls. He was listening to me. He was waiting for me to fall asleep. So he could chain me to the bed. He was waiting, Mom. He was waiting for me to stop fighting. I held her hand. But you didn't stop fighting. You never stopped. You scratched through the floor. You tried to escape. You fought for 5 days. You are the strongest person I know. She shook her head. I'm not strong. I'm terrified. I'm terrified of everything. I'm SCA red of the DRK. I'm SCA red of the mailman. I'm SCA red of my own house. I can't go back there, Mom. I can't. You're not going back there. You're coming home with me. You're going to live with me. I have a guest room. It's small, but it's safe. I have locks. I have all RMS. I have a dog. A big dog. He's going to protect you. You're going to be safe. She looked at me. Her eyes were filled with TRS. Really, I can stay with you, really. For as long as you need. Forever, if you want. I'm not letting you out of my sight again. She smiled. It was a small smile. Fragile. But it was there. It was the first smile I had seen on her face in 5 days. I love you, Mom. I love you too, Emily. Get some rest. I'll be right here. I'm not going anywhere. She closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed. She fell asleep. I watched her. I watched the monitors. I watched the four drip. I watched the door. I did not sleep. I could not sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the shadow. The long shadow moving across the kitchen floor. I saw the figure running through the backyard road. I saw the chain around her ankles. I saw the blood on her fingers. I heard the scratching. Scritch, scritch, scritch. The night passed slowly. The hospital was quiet. The nurses walked the halls. Their footsteps were soft. The lights were dim. I sat in the plastic chair. I did not move. I watched my daughter sleep. I watched her chest rise and fall. I watched her lips move. She was dreaming. She was whispering. She was saying something. Don't leave me, Mom. Don't leave me. I'm here, honey. I'm not going anywhere. The sun came up. The sky turned pink. The birds sta root to sing. A new day. A new chance. I looked at Emily. She was still sleeping. Her face was peaceful. The color was coming back to her cheeks. She was going to be okay. I was going to make sure of it. The door opened. It was Detective Miller. She looked tired. Her hair was messy. Her clothes were wrinkled. Marga Rhett, can I talk to you for a minute? I looked at Emily. She was still sleeping. I got up. I walked to the door. I closed it behind me. What is it? Did you find him? Detective Miller shook her head. We went to his house. It was empty. The furniture was gone. The fridge was empty. He had fled. He must have seen you coming to the house. He must have known the police were coming. He panicked. He ran. My stomach dropped. He's gone. He's just gone. We have a team looking for him. We have his description. We have his CAR. We have his name. We're going to find him. It's only a matter of time. He chained my daughter to a bed. He left her there to die. And you're telling me he's just gone? How is that possible? How did he get away? Detective Miller looked at me. Her face was harrowed. Her eyes were cold. We're doing everything we can, Marga Rhett. I promise you. We will find him. He's not going to get away with this. I walked back into the room. I sat down next to Emily. I held her hand. I looked at the window. The sun was rising. The sky was clear. It was a beautiful day. But I felt nothing. I felt nothing but anger. And fear. And a deep, burning need for justice. He was out there. He was free. And he knew where we were. Emily stayed in the hospital for 3 days. The doctors ran tests. They checked her blood. They checked her heart. They checked her mind. A psychiatrist came to see her. A woman with gray hair and a soft voice. She asked Emily questions about the trauma. Emily answered them. She cried. She talked. She cried some more. The psychiatrist said it was good that she was talking. She said it was good that she was crying. She said the worst thing she could do was hold it all inside. I was there for every session. I held her hand. I listened. I did not interrupt. I let her speak. She talked about the darkness. She talked about the thirst. She talked about the sound of her own voice echoing in the empty room. She talked about the scratching. The endless scratching. She said she had stopped counting the days. She said she had stopped hoping. She said she had stopped praying. She said she had just stopped. I listened. I did not cry. I could not cry. I had to be strong for her. I had to be the rock. I had to be the one who held everything together. If I fell apart, she would fall apart too. I could not let that happen. The 3rd day, the doctors said she could go home. They gave her a prescription for antibiotics. They gave her a prescription for painkillers. They gave her a list of therapists. They told her to rest. They told her to take it slow. They told her to let herself heal. I drove her to my house. She sat in the passenger seat. She was quiet. She looked out the window. She did not say a word. The houses passed by. The trees passed by. The cars passed by. She did not look at any of them. She just read ahead. Her eyes were empty. Her face was blank. I pulled into my driveway. My house was small. 2 bedrooms. A white porch. A green lawn. A white picket fence. It was not much. But it was safe. It was my sanctuary. And now it was hers too. I helped her out of the car. She was still weak. Her legs were shaky. I put my arm around her waist. I walked her to the front door. I unlocked it. I pushed it open. Bar was waiting inside. He wagged his tail. He ran to Emily. He sniffed her. He licked her hand. She smiled. A small smile. She reached down and scratched his ears. Hey, Bar, hey boy. He whined. He pressed his head against her leg. He knew something was wrong. Dogs always know. He stayed by her side. He followed her to the guest room. He lay down on the floor next to the bed. He did not leave her side for the rest of the day. I made her a cup of tea. I made her some soup. I brought it to her room. She was sitting on the bed. She was staring at the wall. She did not look at me. She did not look at the soup. She just read. Emily, you need to eat. You need to keep your strength up. I'm not hungry, Mom. Just a few bites. Please. For me. She looked at me. Her eyes were glassy. She picked up the spoon. She took a sip of the soup. She put the spoon down. It's good, Mom. Thank you. I'll leave it here. Eat when you can. I'm going to be in the living room. If you need anything, just call. I'll be right here. She nodded. I left the room. I closed the door. I walked to the living room. I sat on the couch. I put my head in my hands. I rude to cry. I cried for her. I cried for me. I cried for the 5 days I had lost. I cried for the 5 days she had suffered. I cried until I had no TRS left. The days passed. Emily stayed in her room. She came out for meals. She ate in silence. She went back to her room. She did not want to talk. She did not want to watch TV. She did not want to go outside. She just wanted to be alone. I let her be alone. I gave her space. But I was always watching. I was always listening. I was always ready. I installed a security system. I had cameras installed on every corner of the house. I had motion sensor lights. I had a deadbolt on every door. I had a lock on every window. I was not taking any chances. The police called every day. They had no leads. They had no sightings. Ungrateful Kerr had vanished. He had disappeared into thin air. His car was found abandoned at a bus station. His wallet was in the car. His phone was in the car. He had left everything behind. He was running. He was hiding. He was waiting. I could not sleep. I lay awake at night. I listened to the sounds of the house. The creaking of the floorboards. The ticking of the clock. The hum of the refrigerator. Every sound was a threat. Every sound was him. I would get up. I would check the locks. I would check the windows. I would check on Emily. She was always asleep. She was always safe. But I could not stop checking. One night, I heard a sound. A soft scratching. It was coming from the back door. I grabbed a baseball bat. I walked to the back door. I turned on the light. The light illuminated the backyard road. I saw a branch. A tree branch. It was scraping against the door. I let out a breath. I went back to bed. But I did not sleep. I root seeing him in my mind. Ungrateful Kerr. I saw his face. I saw his eyes. I saw the dark coat. I saw him running through the backyard road. I saw him climbing over the fence. I saw him chaining my daughter to the bed. I saw him leaving her there to die. I saw him smiling. The anger was a fire in my chest. It burned hot. It burned bright. It kept me awake. It kept me going. I channeled it into action. I root urching. I went to the library. I used the computers. I looked up Ungrateful Kerr. I found his social media. I found his old addresses. I found his family. He had a sister. She lived in Texas. He had a brother. He lived in Florida. He had a mother. She lived in a nursing home. I called them all. They had not heard from him. They did not see a re. They said he was always strange. They said they were not surprised. I found out he had been fired from the post office. Not for stalking. For stealing. He had been stealing packages. Small things. Watches. Jewelry. Money. He had been caught on camera. They had let him go. He had not been prosecuted. They had just let him go. I also found something else. A blog. He had a blog. It was hidden. It was under a fake name. But I found it. It was filled with posts about Emily. He wrote about her every day. He wrote about her hair, her smile, her garden. He wrote about her tulips. He wrote about her yellow dress. He wrote about the way she laughed on the phone. He wrote about the way she looked when she was sleeping. He had been watching her for years. Not just 1 year, years. I felt sick. I felt my stomach turn. I felt the world spin. I held on to the desk. I took deep breaths. I read more. He wrote about his plan. He wrote about the chain. He wrote about the bed. He wrote about locking her in the room. He wrote about coming back to chain her to the bed. He wrote about leaving her to die. He wrote about how it was the only way to keep her. He wrote about how he had to take her with him. He wrote about how he had to take her soul. I printed out the blog. I took it to the police station. I gave it to Detective Miller. She read it. Her face went pale. She called her team. They STA route sea urching. They STA route analyzing. They STA route tracking the IP address. The IP address led to a coffee shop. The coffee shop was NEAR Emily's old house. He had been writing from the coffee shop. He had been planning it for months. We're going to find him, MARGA Ret. We have more evidence now. More leads. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to slip up. And we're going to be there when he does. I walked out of the police station. The air was cold. The sky was gray. I got into my car. I sat there for a long time. I did not start the engine. I just sat. I read at the steering wheel. I thought about the blog. I thought about the words. I thought about the way he had written about her. Like she was a possession. Like she was a thing. Like she was his. I drove home. I walked into the house. Emily was in the living room. She was sitting on the couch. She was watching TV. It was a King show. She was ring at the screen. But she was not watching. She was somewhere else. Her mind was somewhere else. Emily, I need to talk to you. She looked at me. Her eyes were tired. What is it, Mom? I sat down next to her. I took her hand. I found something. A blog. He wrote about you. He wrote about his plan. He had been planning this for a long time. He had been watching you for years. Her face went pale. Her eyes widened. What do you mean, years, Emily? He had a blog. He wrote about you every day. He wrote about your tulips. He wrote about your yellow dress. He wrote about you laughing on the phone. He knew everything about you. Everything. She root to shake. Her whole body was trembling. He was in my house. He was in my closet. He had my letters. He had everything. He knew everything. He was always there. He was always watching. I held her. I held her tight. I know, honey. I know. But we're going to catch him. The police have the blog. They're tracking the IP address. They're going to find him. He's not going to get away. She pulled away. She looked at me. Her eyes were wet. Her voice was broken. But what if he does? Mom, what if he comes back? What if he finds me here? What if he hurts you? He's not going to hurt me. He's not going to hurt you. I won't let him. I'll do whatever it takes to protect you. Whatever it takes. She hugged me. She cried into my shoulder. I love you, Mom. I'm so red. I'm so red all the time. I know, honey. I'm red too. But we're going to get through this. Together. We're going to fight. And we're going to win. The weeks passed. Emily route to heal. She route to leave the house. She went to the grocery store. She went to the park. She went to her support group. She talked to other survivors. She found strength in their stories. She found hope in their recovery. She route to smile again. A real smile. Not a fragile one. A strong one. A confident one. I route to relax. A little. I still checked the locks. I still checked the windows. I still checked on her at night. But I slept a little better. I ate a little more. I route to feel like myself again. And then I met Bill. He was a retired high school teacher. He was 72. He had lost his wife to cancer 5 years ago. He lived 2 doors down. He walked his dog every morning. A golden retriever named Lucy. I saw him in the park. He was feeding the ducks. I was sitting on a bench. He walked over. He smiled. Mind if I sit down? Go ahead. He sat down. He was quiet. He did not talk too much. He just sat. He fed the ducks. He watched the pond. He was peaceful. He was calm. I liked being around him. He made me feel safe. He made me feel normal. We sta root talking. We sta root walking. We sta root having coffee together. He was kind. He was gentle. He had a soft smile. He had a daughter who lived in California. He understood loss. He understood fear. He understood what it meant to be alone. He was good for me. He made me feel alive. He made me feel like I had a future. Emily met him. She liked him. She said he had kind eyes. She said he looked at me the way Dad used to look at me. She thought it was sweet. She encouraged me. She told me I deserved to be happy. She was right. I deserved to be happy. We sta root dating. Bill and I. We went to the movies. We went to the park. We sat on the bench and fed the ducks. We talked about everything. Our children. Our pasts. Our fears. Our dreams. He asked me to marry him. On a Tuesday. In the kitchen. He had a cup of coffee in his hand. He was wearing a flannel shirt. He got down on one knee. He pulled out a small velvet box. The ring was simple. A single diamond. It was beautiful. I know we're older, marga red. I know we don't have forever. But what we have is now. And I want to spend the rest of my now with you. I said yes. I cried. I hugged him. I kissed him. Emily was in the living room. She heard the commotion. She came running in. She saw the ring. She sta root crying too. She hugged both of us. She was happy. She was so happy for me. We planned a small wedding. In the backyard road. With a few friends. A few family members. It was perfect. But I never stopped checking the locks. I never stopped looking over my shoulder. I never stopped listening for the sound of scratching. It was always there. In the back of my mind. In the back of my heart. A shadow that never went away. I knew it would not last. I knew it was too good to be true. I knew he was coming back. I felt it in my bones. A cold, creeping dread. A deep, primal fear. He was out there. He was waiting. And he was coming for us. I walked into the house and the air was different. The air was heavy. The air was wrong. I could feel it on my skin. Bar was growling. He was standing in the hallway. His hackles were raised. His teeth were red. He was sta ring at the door to the guest room. The room where Emily was staying. Bar, what is it? What do you see? He did not stop growling. He did not move. He just stood there. Frozen. Alert. His eyes were locked on the door. I walked toward the door. My legs were shaking. My heart was pounding. I pushed the door open. Emily was lying on the bed. She was asleep. She looked peaceful. Her hair was spread across the pillow. Her face was calm. She was breathing slowly. She was fine. She was safe. I let out a breath. I looked at Bar. He had stopped growling. He was sniffing the air. He was pacing. He was still on edge. But he had stopped barking. He had stopped growling. He was just pacing. Bar, it's okay. It's nothing. It's just a noise. I closed the door. I walked to the living room. I sat on the couch. I tried to relax. I could not relax. The feeling would not go away. The cold crept up my spine. The dread settled in my stomach. He was out there. I knew he was out there. I could feel him. Bill came over the next day. He brought flowers. Red roses. He had a smile on his face. He had a spring in his step. He was happy. He was in love. He kissed me on the cheek. He handed me the roses. These are beautiful, Bill. Thank you. You're beautiful, marga red. I wanted to bring you something that matched. I laughed. It was the first real laugh in a long time. I put the roses in a vase. I put them on the kitchen table. I looked at them. The red petals. The green stems. The small thorns. They were perfect. They were simple. They were a gift from a man who loved me. Emily came out of her room. She saw Bill. She smiled. Hey, Bill. How are you? I'm great, Emily. I'm great. How are you doing? Better. Much better. Thanks for asking. They talked for a while. Small talk. The weather. The news. The neighborhood. It was normal. It was pleasant. It was the kind of conversation I had missed. The kind of conversation that made life feel ordinary again. Bill left after lunch. He had to go to the doctor. A routine checkup. He kissed me goodbye. He hugged Emily. He walked out the door. I watched him go. I watched him walk to a car. I watched him drive away. I felt a pang of loneliness. I did not want him to go. I wanted him to stay. I wanted him to protect me. I wanted him to protect us. That night, I woke up to a sound. A soft scratching. It was coming from the back door. I grabbed the baseball bat. I walked to the back door. I turned on the light. The light illuminated the backyard road. The RD was empty. The fence was intact. The gate was closed. There was no one there. I looked at the door. The screen was scratched. Long marks, deep grooves. They were fresh. They were new. They had not been there before. I went back to bed. I did not sleep. I lay awake. I read at the ceiling. I listened to the sounds of the house. The ticking of the clock. The hum of the refrigerator. The soft breathing of Bar. He was lying on the floor next to my bed. He was sleeping. He was not growling. He was not alert. He was just sleeping. I was alone in my fear. I was the only one who heard the scratching. I was the only one who saw the marks. I was the only one who knew he was back. The next day, I called Detective Miller. I told her about the scratching. I told her about the marks on the door. She listened. She was quiet. She said she would send a patrol car. She said she would increase the surveillance. She said she would do everything she could. I hung up the phone. I did not feel better. I did not feel safe. I felt like a target. I felt like I was being hunted. I felt like he was toying with me. He was playing games. He was letting me know he was there. He was watching. He was waiting. I told Emily about the marks. She did not take it well. Her face went pale. Her hands root to shake. Her eyes filled with tears. He's back, Mom. He's back. He found us. He found me. Emily, calm down. It's okay. The police are watching the house. They have a patrol car. They're going to catch him. He's not going to get any ARU. You don't know that, Mom. You don't know what he's capable of. You didn't read the blog. You didn't see the things he wrote. He wants to hurt me. He wants to hurt you. He wants to take everything away. I held her. I held her tight. I did not let go. I could feel her heart beating. It was fast. It was frantic. It was a hummingbird in a cage. Listen to me, Emily. I'm not going to let him hurt you. I'm not going to let him hurt anyone. I will die before I let him touch you again. Do you understand me? She looked at me. Her eyes were wide. Her face was wet with tears. Mom. Don't say that. Don't say that. It's the truth, Emily. I would do anything for you. I would give my life for you. That's what a mother does. That's what I'm going to do. She hugged me. She cried into my shoulder. I held her. I held her for a long time. I held her until she stopped shaking. I held her until she fell asleep. I laid her down on the couch. I covered her with a blanket. I sat in the chair next to her. I watched her sleep. I watched the door. I watched the window. I watched the shadows. The patrol car came. It parked across the street. I could see the lights. They were red and blue. They were a comfort. They were a promise. They were a reminder that I was not alone. But the comfort did not last. The patrol car left at dawn. The lights disappeared. The silence returned. The fear returned. It crept back into my chest. It settled in my bones. It whispered in my ear. He is coming. He is coming. He is coming. I root rang a knife. A small pocket knife. It was not much. But it was something. It was a tool. It was a weapon. It was a promise. A promise to myself. I would not go down without a fight. I root sleeping on the couch. I slept with my eyes open. I slept with the knife in my hand. I slept with Bar at my feet. I was ready. I was always ready. The days passed. The weeks passed. The Fia became a constant companion. It was always there. It was always whispering. It was always watching. Emily sta root seeing a new therapist. A man named Dr. H.A. Riss. He was older. He was experienced. He had worked with trauma victims before. He was calm. He was patient. He was kind. He helped Emily. He helped her process the Fia. He helped her process the anger. He helped her process the shame. She sta root to heal. A little at a time. I sta root seeing Bill more. He was a balm. He was a salve. He was a warm blanket on a cold night. He made me feel safe. He made me feel loved. He made me feel like I was not alone. He asked me to move in with him. He said he had a big house. He said he had a security system. He said he had a guest room for Emily. He said he would keep us safe. I said no. I said I could not leave my house. I said I could not leave my sanctuary. I said I had to stay. I had to protect what was mine. He understood. He did not push. He did not argue. He just nodded. He hugged me. He told me he would wait. He told me he would be there when I was ready. He was a good man. A patient man. A man I did not deserve. The night came. It was cold. The wind was howling. The rain was lashing against the windows. The power went out. The house went to RK. I lit candles. I lit lanterns. The flickering light cast long shadows on the walls. Var was restless. He was pacing. He was whimpering. He was on edge. Bar, what is it? What's wrong? He did not answer. He just paced. He just whimpered. He just sta read at the front door. I walked to the door. I looked through the peephole. The street was empty. The rain was falling. The wind was blowing. There was no one there. I walked to the back door. I looked through the window. The RD was empty. The fence was intact. The gate was closed. There was no one there. I walked to the windows. I looked out. The rain blurred the glass. The trees swayed in the wind. The shadows danced in the dark. There was no one there. I went back to the living room. I sat on the couch. I held the knife in my hand. I watched the door. I watched the windows. I watched the shadows. The scratching sta root. It was soft at first. A gentle scrape. Then it grew louder. It grew more insistent. It was coming from the back door. I stood up. I walked to the back door. Bar was growling. He was walking with me. His teeth were red. His hair was raised. I reached the back door. The scratching stopped. The silence was deafening. I could hear my own heartbeat. It was pounding. It was screaming. I unlocked the door. I opened it. The rain hit my face. The wind howled in my ears. I looked out. The RD was empty. The fence was intact. The gate was closed. There was no one there. But the scratching sta root again. It was not coming from the back door. It was coming from inside. It was coming from the walls. Emily. I screamed. Emily, get down. Get on the floor. I ran to the living room. She was already on the floor. She was curled up in a ball. She was crying. She was shaking. Bar was standing over her. He was growling. He was protecting her. The scratching was everywhere. It was in the walls. It was in the floor. It was in the ceiling. It was coming from every direction. I could not pin it down. I could not find the source. It was all around us. It was closing in. I grabbed Emily. I pulled her into the bathroom. It was the only room with no windows. The only room with a lock. I locked the door. I pushed a dresser against it. I held her. I held her tight. I did not let go. Mom, he's in the house. He's in the house. He's going to kill us. No, Emily. He's not going to kill us. We're going to survive. We're going to fight. We're going to win. The scratching stopped. The silence returned. I could hear my own breathing. I could hear Emily's breathing. I could hear Bar's growling. He was still standing. He was still protecting. I heard a sound. A footstep. It was coming from the hallway. It was slow. It was deliberate. It was getting closer. I held the knife. My hand was shaking. My heart was pounding. My breath was shallow. The footsteps stopped. They stopped right outside the bathroom door. I heard a voice. It was low. It was familiar. It was the voice of the man I had seen in the backyard road. The man I had seen in the kitchen. The man I had seen chaining my daughter to the bed. Hello, Marga Ret. I'm home. It was Ma written cur. My blood turned to ice. The voice was low. It was calm. It was the voice of a man who had nothing to lose. I pressed my body against the bathroom door. Emily was behind me. She was crying. She was shaking. I could feel her tremble against my back. Go away, I said. My voice was steady. I did not know how. Go away or I'll call the police. He laughed. A low, hollow laugh. It echoed through the hallway. The police ain't coming, Marga Ret. The power is out. The phones are dead. The patrol car is gone. It's just us. Just the three of us. I looked at Emily. Her face was white. Her eyes were wide. She was staring at the door. She was staring at the thin barrier between us and him. Mom, what do we do? Stay quiet. Stay behind me. Don't make a sound. I heard him move. His footsteps were slow. He was pacing. He was enjoying this. He was savoring the fear. He was a cat playing with a mouse. You know, Marga Ret, I've been watching you. Watching you both. The way you check the locks. The way you check the windows. The way you hold the knife. You're so brave. So strong. But you're not brave enough. You're not strong enough. You're just an old woman. And she's just a broken girl. Don't talk about her. Don't even say her name. Her name is Emily. I know her name. I know everything about her. I know she sleeps on her right side. I know she talks in her sleep. I know she calls out for her mother. I know she's afraid of the dark. I know she's afraid of me. I heard a crash. The sound of breaking glass. It was coming from the living room. He had broken a window. He was coming through the window. Mom, he's coming in. He's coming in. Stay behind me. Stay behind me. I heard his footsteps. They were inside the house. He was in the living room. He was walking toward the hallway. He was walking toward the bathroom. Emily, my darling Emily. I've missed you. I've missed you so much. You look so beautiful. You look so red. I love it. I love the fear in your eyes. I held the knife. The blade was sharp. The handle was cold. I felt it in my palm. I felt the weight of it. It was not much. But it was all I had. I heard him at the door. He was right outside. He was touching the door. He was scratching the door. Scritch. 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 Open the door. Marga Ret. Open the door and I'll let her go. I'll let her run. I'll let her live. I promise. Just open the door. I did not answer. I did not move. I pressed my body against the door. I held the knife. I waited. Open the door, Marga Ret. Or I'll break it down. And when I break it down, I'll hurt her. I'll hurt her in ways you can't imagine. I'll make you watch. I'll make you listen. I'll make you hear every scream. I looked at Emily. She was crying. She was shaking. She was whispering. Mom, please. Please don't let him hurt me. Please. I won't, honey. I won't. I heard him step back. I heard him take a breath. I heard him run at the door. The wood splintered. The door cracked. It did not break. But it was close. It was so close. He ran at the door again. The wood cracked again. A hinge broke. The door was hanging. It was rely holding. I pushed the dresser. I pushed it against the door. I pushed it with all my strength. I held it there. I held it with my body. Mom, he's breaking it. He's breaking it. Hold on, Emily. Hold on. He ran at the door again. The dresser moved. It shifted. It gave way. The door opened. He was standing there. He was tall. He was thin. His face was gaunt. His eyes were hollow. He was wearing a dark coat. He was carrying a knife. A large hunting knife. The blade was stained with something. I did not want to know what. He smiled. A thin, cold smile. Hello, Marga Ret. Hello, Emily. Bar lunged. He came out of nowhere. He flew through the air. He hit Martin Kerr with his full weight. The knife flew from his hand. It clattered across the floor. Bar had his jaws around his arm. He was shaking his head. A low growl rumbled from his throat. Martin Kerr screamed. It was a primal sound. A sound of pure agony. He tried to push Bar off. He tried to hit him. But Bar was too strong. Bar was too fast. He was a black blur. He was a force of nature. Run, Emily. Run. Emily ran. She ran out of the bathroom. She ran through the hallway. She ran through the living room. She ran out the front door. I followed her. I ran past Martin Kerr. He was on the floor. He was fighting Bar. He was losing. I did not stop. I ran to the front door. I ran outside. The rain was falling. The wind was howling. The street was dark. I saw Emily. She was running. She was running toward the neighbor's house. She was screaming. Help! Help! He's in the house. He's in the house. I heard a commotion. I heard bark. I heard Martin Kerr scream. And then I heard a gunshot. I stopped. I turned around. I looked back at the house. The front door was open. The lights were flickering. The shadows were dancing. I ran back. I ran to the house. I ran to the front door. I saw Martin Kerr on the floor. He was still alive. He was still moving. He was reaching for the knife. Bar was limping. He had been shot. There was a wound on his side. It was bleeding. He was still fighting. He was still protecting us. Bar, stay. Stay. He looked at me. He whined. He stopped. He sat down. He was still. He was obedient. He was waiting. Martin Kerr grabbed the knife. He stood up. He looked at me. His face was twisted. His eyes were wild. His shirt was torn. His arm was bleeding. He was a monster. He was a beast. You took her from me, he said. You took her from me. She was never yours. He lunged at me. He swung the knife. I ducked. The blade grazed my shoulder. I felt a searing pain. I felt the blood. I felt the warmth. I did not stop. I grabbed the baseball bat. It was leaning against the wall. I swung it. I swung it with all my strength. It hit him in the head. He stumbled. He fell. He dropped the knife. I swung again. I hit him in the ribs. I heard them crack. He screamed. He fell to the floor. He was curled up in a ball. He was whimpering. He was defeated. I grabbed the knife. I held it to his throat. I could see his eyes. They were wide. They were SCA red. They were the eyes of a cowboy road. A man who had terrorized my daughter. A man who had terrorized me. A man who deserved to die. Do it, he said. His voice was a whisper. Do it. You want to. I can see it in your eyes. Just do it. I held the knife. My hand was shaking. My heart was pounding. My mind was screaming. He was right. I wanted to do it. I wanted to end him. I wanted to make him pay for everything he had done. Every scratch. Every scream. Every tear. But I did not do it. I could not do it. I was not a killer. I was a mother. A mother who had done everything to protect her daughter. But I was not a killer. I pulled the knife away. I dropped it. I stepped back. I let him live. The police arrived. They came with lights and sirens. They med the house. They found Martin Kerr on the floor. They handcuffed him. They dragged him away. They took Bar to the vet. The wound was not fatal. He was going to be okay. He was going to recover. Emily came back. She was wrapped in a blanket. She was covered in rain. She was shaking. She was crying. She ran to me. She hugged me. She held me tight. Mom, you're bleeding. You're bleeding. It's just a scratch, honey. It's nothing. It's not nothing. You almost died. You almost died. But I didn't, Emily. I'm right here. I'm right here. I looked at the house. The front door was broken. The windows were shattered. The walls were scratched. It was a wreck. It was a disaster. But it was still standing. And so were we. Martin Kerr was taken away. He was charged with breaking and entering, assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, and kidnapping. He was sent to a maximum security prison. He would never get out. He would never hurt anyone again. I went to the hospital. They stitched up my shoulder. The wound was deep. It would leave a scar. A permanent reminder. A badge of honor. I had survived. I had fought. I had won. Bar came home. He was wearing a cone. He was limping. He was recovering. He was still protective. He was still loyal. He was still my hero. Bill came over. He was crying. He was holding my hand. He was telling me he loved me. He was telling me he was sorry. He was telling me he would never leave me alone again. I married Bill. We had a small wedding in the backyard road. Emily was my maid of honor. She was beautiful. She was smiling. She was happy. Bar was the ring. Ba rare. He walked down the aisle with the rings tied to his collar. He was limping. But he was proud. I moved into Bill's house. We kept my house. We rented it out. A young couple moved in. They had a baby. They had a dog. They were happy. They were safe. They were living the life I had always wanted for my daughter. Emily Sta wrote a new chapter. She moved to a new city. She got a new job. She met a new man. His name was Jake. He was kind. He was patient. He was normal. She trusted him. She loved him. They got married. They had a baby. A little girl. They named her Margaret. I held my granddaughter in my arms. She was so small. So fragile. So innocent. I looked at Emily. She was smiling. She was happy. She was safe. Mom, thank you. Thank you for everything. I would do it again, Emily. 1,000 times. 1,000,000 times. I would do it all again. I looked at the sky. The sun was setting. The colors were beautiful. The air was warm. The birds were singing. It was a perfect moment. A moment I had fought for. A moment I had yearned. I thought about the scratching. I thought about the hand reaching out from under the bed. I thought about the chain around her ankles. I thought about the fear in her eyes. I thought about the fight. The struggle. The survival. I thought about American Kerr. I thought about the blog. I thought about the letters. I thought about the YRS of watching. The YRS of waiting. The YRS of planning. I thought about the darkness. I thought about the light. I thought about the power of a mother's love. The power of a mother's will. The power of a mother's fight. And I thought about the story. The story I would tell. The story I would share. The story I would pass down to my grandchildren. The story of the scratching. The story of the fight. The story of the survival. I looked at Emily. I looked at my granddaughter. I looked at Bill. I looked at Bar. I was surrounded by love. I was surrounded by family. I was surrounded by everything that mattered. The fear was gone. The dread was gone. The shadow was gone. It had been replaced by something else. Something stronger. Something brighter. Something that could never be taken away. I was not a victim. I was a survivor. I was not a target. I was a fighter. I was not alone. I was loved. I smiled. I kissed my granddaughter on the forehead. I looked at Emily. I looked at Bill. I looked at Bar. We're going to be okay, I said. We're going to be okay. And we were. We were more than okay. We were strong. We were brave. We were unstoppable. The scratching was gone. The silence was peaceful. The house was quiet. The fear was over. I had found my daughter. I had saved my daughter. I had loved my daughter. And I would never stop. In the end, that is all that matters. The love. The fight. The survival. I am Margaret. I am a mother. I am a survivor. And I am not afraid. The end. Thank you for listening to my story. If you or someone you love has been a victim of stalking or domestic violence, please reach out for help. You are not alone. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a comment below. Share your thoughts. Share your experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more stories like this one. Every comment and every subscription helps us reach more people who need to hear these stories. Stay safe. Stay strong. and never stop fighting. The trial lasted 2 weeks. Ma Retin Kerr sat in the courtroom with a blank sta. He did not look at Emily. He did not look at me. He read at the wall. He read at the floor. He was a hollow shell. A ghost of a man. The jury found him guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He was led away in chains. He did not resist. He did not speak. He just walked. And then he was gone. Emily testified. She stood in the witness box. She was trembling. But she spoke. She told the court what he had done. The darkness. The thirst. The chain. The scratching. She told them about the 5 days. The endless 5 days. She told them about the fear, the terror, the hopelessness. I watched her. I watched her tell her story. I watched her take back her power. I watched her transform. She was no longer a victim. She was a survivor. When she stepped down from the stand, she walked to me. She hugged me. She whispered in my ear, "We did it, Mom. We did it." "Yes, honey. We did." The years passed. Emily got my ride. She had a baby girl. She named her Margaret. I was a grandmother. I held my granddaughter in my arms. She was tiny. She was perfect. She was a new beginning. I told her the story. I told her about the scratching. I told her about the fight. I told her about the love. I told her about the survival. She did not understand. She was too young. But one day she would. One day she would know what her grandmother had done. Bill passed away in his sleep. He was 87. He went peacefully. He was holding my hand. I was by his side. I told him I loved him. He smiled. And then he was gone. I was alone. But I was not lonely. I had Emily. I had my granddaughter. I had Bar. I had my memories. I had my strength. I sat on the porch. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. The birds were singing. The air was warm. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. I thought about the scratching. I thought about the hand reaching out from under the bed. I thought about the chain around her ankles. I thought about the fear in her eyes. I thought about the fight. The struggle. The survival. I smiled. I had won. I had survived. I had saved my daughter. I had lived a full life. I had loved. I had lost. I had fought. And I had won. I closed my eyes. The sun was warm on my face. The breeze was soft on my skin. The sound of the birds was a lullaby. I felt a hand on my shoulder. I opened my eyes. It was Emily. She was smiling. She was holding her daughter. My granddaughter. Our future. Mom, it's time to come inside. Dinner is ready. I nodded. I stood up. I walked inside. The house was warm. The table was set. The family was gathered. I was surrounded by love. I was surrounded by everything that mattered. The scratching was gone. The fear was gone. The shadow was gone. It had been replaced by something else. Something stronger. Something brighter. Something that could never be taken away. I was not a victim. I was a survivor. I was not a target. I was a fighter. I was not alone. I was loved. I sat down at the table. I looked at my family. I looked at the life I had built. I looked at the love I had fought for. I smiled. I took a bite. The food was delicious. The laughter was loud. The love was real. I was home. I was safe. I was free. The end.